Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. Tamarinu exercises. Ajib anil asilatil atiyah. Answer the following questions. Aina hadhihi al madrasatu? Where is this school? Yes, does someone remember where the school is? هذه المدرسة قريبة من المسجد. This school is close to the masjid. هذه المدرسة will be the subject, قريبة will be the predicate, and من المسجد will be prepositional phrase or jar majroor. Now we know if the subject is feminine, then the predicate also has to be feminine. If we say هذا البيت, then we will say هذا البيت قريب من المسجد. But when we talk about هذه المدرسة, then we will say هذه المدرسة قريبة من المسجد. كم بابا لها? How many doors does it have? Yes, does anyone remember? لها ثلاثة أبواب. Excellent. لها ثلاثة أبواب. And we know that ha, this ha refers to the school, al-madrasa, so that's why it is the feminine. لها ثلاثة أبواب. It has 3 doors. أمغلق أبوابها الآن أم مفتوحة? Are its doors open right now or closed? Yes, we have seen in the lesson, it was written that أبوابها مفتوحة الآن. Its doors are open now. أبوابها مفتوحة الآن. Now we know that abwab is the plural of غير عاقل, so this is singular feminine. So when the subject is singular feminine, then the predicate also has to be singular feminine. أبوابها مفتوحة الآن. Its doors are open now. Here we have a beautiful combination of a and It is used to choose between 2 things when we have a choice. And a and they come together. They have a combination a and So whenever we want to choose between 2 things, or when we are asking about 2 things, for example, أمغلقة أبوابها الآن أم مفتوحة? Are its doors open now or they are closed? And the answer is أبوابها مفتوحة الآن. And inshallah, about this and similarly about the use of أو, we will learn in the beginning of book number 2, inshallah, in detail. كم نافذة في هذا الفصل? How many windows are there in this classroom? All right, فيه نافذتان كبيرتان. Right, فيه نافذتان كبيرتان. It has 2 big windows. كم طالبا في هذا الفصل? How many students are there in this classroom? Yes, how many? فيه 10 طلاب. فيه 10 طلاب. There are 10 students in it. Okay, excellent. أكلهم من بلد واحد? Are all of them from one city or one country? أكلهم من بلد واحد؟ لا، هم من بلاد مختلفة. Excellent. لا، هم من بلاد مختلفة. No, they are from different countries. Next question. من أين أبو بكر? Where is Abu Bakr from? Yes, هو من اليونان. He is from Yunan. هو من اليوناني. He is from Greek. Okay. من أين أحمد? Where is Ahmed from? Yes. Does anyone remember? من أين أحمد? Where is Ahmed from? هو من الهند. He is from India. هو من الهند. He is from India. Okay, excellent. Next question is من أين يوسف? Where is Yusuf from? من أين يوسف? Yes. Do you remember? هو من إنجلترا. Excellent. هو من إنجلترا. He is from England. All right. The next question is من أين محمد? Where is Muhammad from? هو من اليابان, right? هو من اليابان. He is from Japan. All right. Next question. من مدرسهم? Who is their teacher? من مدرسهم? Who is their teacher? مدرسهم الشيخ بلال. مدرسهم, their teacher, الشيخ بلال, is Sheikh Bilal. من أين هو? Where is he from? It refers to the teacher. من أين هو? Where is he from? Do you remember? هو من Syria. He is from Syria. Okay. ضع هذه العلامة. Put this sign, which is the check sign, أمام الجمل الصحيحة, in front of the correct sentences. Now we know that أمام is used as special مضاف. That's why the noun that comes after it will be مجرور. الجمل is موصوف. الصحيحة is the صفة. أمام الجمل الصحيحة وهذه العلامة, and this sign, which is the X sign, as we can see, أمام الجمل or أمام الجمل, in front of the sentences, التي ليست صحيحة, that are not correct. So we have the check sign and we have the X sign. So we have two signs over here, and we have to put these signs in front of the sentences to make sure whether they are correct or not. مدرستي قريبة من المطار. My school is close to the airport. Okay. It is incorrect. مدرستي قريبة. Do you remember? من المسجد, right? مدرستي قريبة من المسجد. Next one is لها ثلاثة أبواب. It has 3 doors. Is this true or false? لها ثلاثة أبواب. Yeah, it has 3 doors, so that is true. أبوابها مغلقة الآن. Its doors are closed now. مغلقة أم مفتوحة? Do you remember? False. Yeah, they are open. So we will say this is incorrect. مكاتب الطلاب كبيرة. The desks of the students are big. Okay, do you remember? The desks of the students, are they big or small? No. Excellent. So they are small. All right. So this is incorrect. The next one is مكتب المدرس كبير. The desk of the teacher is big. Yes. Do you remember that? مكتب المدرس كبير. The desk of the teacher is big. And that is true. Correct. Okay. Excellent. Next is في فصلنا 10 طلاب. There are 10 students in our classroom. True. Okay. Correct. There are 10 students in our classroom. Then we have عمار من يوغوسلافيا. Ammar is from Yugoslavia. Okay, no, that's incorrect. Bayramu min Turkiya. Bayram is from Turkey. Yes, that's right. Okay, excellent. Yusufu min Malaysia. Yusuf is from Malaysia or Malaysia. No, he is from England. Okay. Then we have Mudarrisuna min al-Iraqi. Our teacher is from Iraq. That's false. Mudarrisuna min Syria. In the lesson we have seen that our teacher is from Syria. Okay, excellent. I'm happy that you remember all the information. Excellent. Okay. Next question is Udhkur al-Bilad al-Waridata. Now we have to mention the countries al-Bilad al-Waridata في الدرس, in the lesson, من آسيا وأفريقيا وأوروبا, from Asia, from Africa, and then from Europe. So we have seen in the lesson that these cities, these countries are from different continents. So al-bilad allati fi Asia, the countries that are in Asia, al-Jabanu, al-Sinu, al-Hindu, and Malaysia. So these are 4 that we have seen in the lesson. They are from Asia. Then we have al-bilad allati fi Ifriqiya. We have 2, Nigeria and Ghana. These 2 are from Africa. And then we have al-bilad allati fi Europa, and the countries that are in Europe. And we have seen that it's Inglaterra, England, al-Yunanu, Yunan, and Turkey. So this information is just like we have seen this information in the lesson. So that's why we have it over here. The next question, okay, it's just al-kalimatu al-jadidatu, the new words, al-maktabu, and the plural is makatibu, mamnu min as-sarf, and it means desk and desks. Al-kursiyu, that means chair, and kurasiyu, also mamnu min as-sarf, chairs. Al-lawnu, color, and alwanun, colors. Al-qiblatu, qibla or direction, and then we have dhaka, that equals dhalika. So dhalika is more common. Dhaka is not used a lot, but it's a part of the Arabic language, and that's why we also need to learn dhaka and also dhalika. Alhamdulillah, our lesson is finished. Now let's go back to the verbs a little bit. We have learned not a lot, little bit about the verb. For example, about dhahaba, we have learned the conjugation of dhahaba, but we haven't learned all of it, right? We have learned dhahaba, which is the third person al-ghaib masculine, and we have learned dhahabu, but we haven't learned the dual. So I think it's high time that we learn the dual as well, because inshallah, when we start book number 2, which is not far away, then we will definitely start our journey of learning the verbs. And verbs are really, really amazing in Arabic language. That's why it's very, very important to have a very sound foundation before we start our journey of learning the verbs. So the only thing that you have to do, you have to memorize the conjugation of the past tense. This conjugation is very, very important, because if you are able to memorize the conjugation of one verb, that means all the verbs that you will come across, you can conjugate them according to this verb. We started with dhahaba. The Sheikh has started with dhahaba. We have learned dhahaba and dhahabu, but we haven't learned the dual. So we can see now that the dual for dhahaba is dhahaba. Similarly, for jalasa, it will be jalasa. Similarly, nasara, it will be nasara. Now here we can see that this one is verb number 1, and then we have, this will be number 2, dhahaba, and then we have dhahaba, and then the third one will be dhahabu. All the verbs in Arabic, whether they are present or past, they have minimum 14 conjugations, as we can see over here, or 14 forms, as we can see. And we need to know these 14 forms in order to be able to understand the verbs. So we start with number 1, dhahaba. And we have seen that in Arabic, the verbs, they always start with the past tense, and always they start with the third person, al-ghaib. So whenever, inshallah, when we start using the dictionary, in the dictionary, we will always see that whenever you're looking for the verb, you need to know the root words. And when you know the root words, then you will always see in the dictionary, you will see dhahaba. Next to that will be the present tense, which is yadhabu. And then after that, you will see the masdar, which is dhahabu or dhahaban. So dhahaba, yadhabu, the verbs will start like this. Always they start from the third person, al-ghaib, or we call it the third person. Dhahaba, dhahaba, dhahabu, they went. And for the feminine, it is dhahabat, she went. We know that ta is sakin over here. And this is form number 4. Form number 1 and form number 4 are very, very important when we talk about the verbs. They are very, very important. So that's why we have mentioned the numbers of the forms so that we know that which number is this. However, the most important numbers are 1 and 4. That's what, because whenever we start a sentence with the verb, it always starts with verb form number 1 or form number 4. For example, when you talk about one student, we say dhahabat talibu. And when we talk about the feminine, we will say dhahabat at-talibatu. So dhahabat talibu and dhahabat at-talibatu. And the interesting thing is, even if we have 2 students, or we have 3 students, or we have 100 students, still we will use the verbal sentence with dhahaba if the students are masculine. So we can also say dhahabat tullabu, the students went. And if the students are feminine and they are like 100, 200, or even more than that, we will say dhahabat at-talibatu. So the verbal sentence always, either it starts with form number 1 or it starts with form number 4. That's why we need to know 1 and 4. Then we have the dual is dhahabata. So you see this ta continues, and after ta we only add alif. For dhahaba we add only alif for the dual, and similarly for the feminine we add alif to that as well. So we can see that the doer in the dual is alif. The doer of the action is alif. So dhahabat, dhahabata, and dhahabna, they went. Then we have learned dhahabta and dhahabtum. We have learned already. And when we talk about the dual, it will be dhahabtuma, you both went, and dhahabtum, you all went. Then when we talk about the feminine, we say you went, so we will say dhahabti. And when we want to say you both went, we will say dhahabtuma, and you all went, dhahabtunna. We have learned all of them except for the dual. So now we have to memorize the dual, or we have to learn the dual. So when we talk about the third person, we have dhahaba, dhahaba, and dhahabata. And when we talk about the second person, we have dhahabtuma and dhahabtuma. They are the same. However, from the context, we will know whether we are using it for the masculine or we are using it for the feminine. For example, we say Bilalun wa Ahmadu, we will say dhahaba, right? And if we have Fatimatu wa Zainabu, we will say dhahabata. And if there are two persons in front of you, then you say Ya Shaykh Bilal wa the other person, and we will say that Antuma dhahabtuma. And similarly, when we have two feminine, we will say Antuma dhahabtuma. And then we have learned that for the first person, when you want to say I went, we say dhahabtu. And when you want to say we went, we say dhahabna. Now, all these 14 forms are here. Then we have 5 and up to dhahabna, which is number 14. So all these forms are here. Now, what you have to do, whatever verbs that we have memorized in, or we have learned in book number 1, for example, we have learned dhahaba, we have learned jalasa, we have learned raja'a, right? So what you have to do, please just try to write down the conjugation, write down all the 14 forms and try to memorize them. This is like one-time investment in your life. If you memorize the conjugation of one verb, you are able to, inshallah, conjugate the rest of the verbs based on the same pattern. For example, if we have raja'a, so we will say raja'a, raja'a, raja'u, raja'at, raja'ata, raja'ana, raja'ata, raja'atuma, raja'atum, raja'ati, raja'atuma, raja'atunna, raja'atu, and raja'ana. So based on that, as I said, if you memorize one conjugation, based on that, you can memorize the rest of the verbs. Now, when we are doing this course, we have seen that the Sheikh has taught us in a different way. He has taught us in a more practical way. That means he has used them in the sentences. However, I believe that we need to use both methods. Sometimes we need to memorize, and sometimes we need to follow the examples that we have in the books. And the combination of these two methods, one is that of memorization and the other method of practice, inshallah, it will make our the journey of learning Arabic much easier and much interesting. So now, inshallah, you have to memorize the conjugation of the rest of the verbs, for example, jalasa and raja'a. Alhamdulillah, lesson 21 is complete. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.